Morning, guys. So today what we're doing, we're going to be pruning our perennial flowers that can be reduced in size for many reasons. And I'll be doing my New England asters, which this is a clump over there. I'll be doing a little bit of pruning on my tall garden phlox and a sedum that I have. Other plants are my catmint, which I've done in an earlier video, that I reduced the plant, the backside of the plant, so that the front would flower first, and then when those flowers die back, you can cut those off and the back will start blooming. So with this type of pruning, it is used to reduce the plant, to prevent flopping, which creates more branching and smaller flowers, or it's also used to control delay blooming or allow blooming to happen at the normal time. So we're going to do all of that today with this simple method of just cutting your plants back, your perennial flowers, either by a third or half. It's also known as Chelsea chop, which came out of the Chelsea Garden Show years and years ago. So this is what we're doing. We're going to be pruning back the perennials, and I'm doing my New England asters first. This I like to cut back, and you can vary the size. You know, you can make it all one level or just short, long, short, long, short, long, depending what you want. But I'm going to keep mine a little rounded. Asters, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut above where a leaf is. Cut these back, and you can vary the height. You can be real picky or not real picky. So this is what I'm doing. This is a fall blooming plant. You want to be doing this. This is the end of May. You can do it as end of May, 1st of June, to get in here and cut these back. And I have told this story because this isn't the first time I have cut mine back. Years ago, we got a tremendous flood in May that took over, or it was maybe in June, covered up the whole yard. The water was up to the first platform up there, so that's several feet. Reg, what would you think that was?
4 foot.
4 foot. And so when the water receded, all of my garden plants, like you see today, of course it wasn't this full. This is a very mature garden now, 31 years plus 2 days. Oh, anyhow, but I came in and had to cut everything back, and I found out that the pruning of the aster or the Chelsea chop, it didn't fall down, it didn't flop. And I've been doing it ever since. And then I found out just several years ago that there's an actual term for it, the Chelsea chop. So we're doing that. So these are my asters.
You know, it's just like the maple tree, though.
The thinning of the maple tree.
Yeah, it just looks so brutal and
it looks brutal,
severe.
but it's not. It's not. So, and so with my garden phlox, I'm going to take this back just a little here in the front, so that this will branch out here in the front on my phlox. I'll get some smaller blooms. I'm going to go ahead against the back and let it bloom at the height that it is. But here in front, I'm going to cause a little delay of bloom so that I can get a few little more blooms that'll be compact later on in the fall or summer. This blooms a little sooner. Let me take one more. You don't have to do much. You know, it's your plant. Do with it what you want. We can control our plants. That is probably one thing we can do, is control our plants. So those are what I'm going to do, the phlox, the asters, because they're spotted throughout the garden. The other thing I'm going to do is a sedum. And I've never cut back a sedum. And the one I'm going to cut back is in a shade. And I'm going to show you what's happening there. So here's the sedum I'm going to, experiment with. This is my first time to cut back a sedum. The reason I'm doing this sedum probably flops because it's in more shade than sun. And our sedum's like, direct sunlight. So my sedum autumn joys in the main garden, they stay upright. But this one always tends to flop. And so I'm going to cut it back by a third or half even. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, if you want to, probably you just want to pull these leaves off, put it in a little water, and see if it'll root. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cut these back, create a little, and pull the leaves off. Put them in this glass jar with some water. Have to get a little more water on there. And let's see if this really, I'm going down, again, I'm going above a leaf, where the leaf joins. Pull off the leaves. And this is, like I said, the first time I've ever cut back sedums.
One of my
And
favorite plants in the garden, you know that.
I know. So, Reg, we might end up with a lot more sedums once you start seeing roots, you can stick them in the ground. Because I have a sedum that we found way early this spring, looked like a little kind of little baby coming off of a main plant that we put in the garden, and I'll show you it. Let me go ahead and just cut these back and I'll show you how that sedum's doing. I'll come back to this and finish putting all that in the water. I'll make a note too that what day I did this on. I think as a gardener, you should document, which I try to do, when you've done something you've never done before. And then you can...
honey, that just looks so drastic.
It's all right. They say it's all right. And I believe them because I've done it to other plants. Cut it back. It'll grow back. And hopefully, there's a weed, it will not flop. And wouldn't that be nice? Have a nice little compact head of sedum right here in the shade. Let me show you, though, what is going on with this sedum that we transplanted, a month or two ago. And it was just one little beginning piece. Look how pretty.
Whoa.
This is a sedum autumn joy, so it'll be gorgeous in this little pocket back here. And there's the zinnias I planted, direct sowed, and nothing came up there. So those things happen. You have successes, you have failures, but it's just a chance to plant more plants. That's going to be my day today. I'm going to finish my asters, look about the garden, edge some things, and I hope you are out there doing the same. Get out there, prune back those floppy perennials if you don't like it that way. Thanks for watching Gardening on the West Fork. We'll see you the next time. Bye.